Jose Mourinho once said about the way Sam Allardyce sets his team up: "This is not Premier League. This is not the best league in the world. This is football from the 19th century." Coming from Mourinho, this is big comedy, but there was a time when Sam Allardyce was the most innovative manager in England and possibly in Europe. Just like Mourinho, Wenger, Ferguson and Guardiola had their best years, so did Big Sam, and that was wonderful. Sam Allardyce used to be a decent footballer for Bolton Wanderers back in the 70s, playing as a defender. He was a ball-playing defender, but not in the modern sense of the word. As his longtime friend Dave Bassett said, if he wasn't playing with the ball, he was playing with your balls. You get the idea. Incidentally, it was at Bolton where Sam Allardyce arguably spent his best years as a coach. He started a revolution in the game approach, finished on the top spots, and caused Arsene Wenger a lot of grievances. But Allardyce didn't walk into a perfect setup in 1999. The results left a lot to be desired, and at the time Bolton were in the bottom half of the table. Enter Sam Allardyce. In the first year with Allardyce, Bolton made promotion playoffs but lost to Ipswich Town in the semi-final. The following year they faced Preston North End in a Wembley final and gained promotion. But to survive in the Premier League, Bolton needed reinforcements. Nowadays, promoted clubs can outspend the best teams in Spain and Italy. It wasn't the case back then, and Bolton Wanderers didn't have money-loaded coffers stashed or a sugar daddy from the Middle East. And yet they managed to sign a World Cup winner and one of the finest footballers of his generation in Youri Djorkaeff. Djorkaeff had no reason to go to the northwest of England, let alone Bolton. But Allardyce took it into his hands and pitched the idea to the Frenchman. Allardyce's assistant Phil Brown recalled how it happened. Sam actually sold the idea to him without Youri stepping foot in England. He sat down with a laptop and showed him Bolton schools, the good areas to live in, the training ground, methods, the sports science department, and Youri was swooned by this. Despite being past his prime, 34-year-old Djorkaeff became a transformative signing for Bolton. What a signing he was! Allardyce raved about the Frenchman. He saved us from relegation and signed permanently. It led other players to think, if Youri Djorkaeff can go to Bolton, so can I. The last sentence clearly registered with some prominent footballers, as Bolton ended up signing more star players on free transfers or on loan. Most notably Okocha, Campo and Fernando Hierro. A player like Hierro, with 600 appearances for Real Madrid, had no business signing for Bolton, yet he did. But it wasn't the transfer market revolution that Allardyce instigated. It was about his holistic approach to football, as he brought about changes behind the scene that ultimately crystallized into results and performances on the pitch. Nowadays, analytical departments are commonplace, but 20 years ago it was an uncharted territory. Allardyce was one of the pioneers, as he relied on pro-zone data to supplement his tactical ideas. He developed a system in which he knew where every Bolton player had to be positioned to have the best chance of scoring. Allardyce also introduced psychotherapists, an in-house psychologist, and the crew chamber at Bolton. In the words of Campo, somebody who played in a Champions League final for Real Madrid, it was a seriously modern way. Analysts, psychotherapists, backroom staff, they looked after us so much, and they were across every single metric. I genuinely think we were ahead of pretty much every other club at the time. Allardyce also knew a lot about man management. It's not a coincidence that hugely controversial El Hadji Diouf lasted the longest in his career at Big Sam's Bolton, and later joined Big Sam at Sunderland. Sam is like a father for everybody. He's a good man, he's like a daddy, Diouf once claimed. In terms of play style, it was more or less the Sam Allardyce you know. Bolton weren't pretty, but they were effective. Allardyce managed to dovetail big names with hard-working, robust players like Kevin Davies and Kevin Nolan. Bolton had no compunction about playing the first ball long. Nolan or Davies had to win the ball, and from there more technical footballers like Diouf, Gary Speed, Greece international Stelios continued the play. Of course, Okocha as well, who played in a slightly deeper role. We didn't share Sam's perceived ideas, to play long, the ball in the air, pressing, admitted Campo. But he told us he wanted to mix it up. to play our game while respecting the overall game plan. Everybody bought into it. Propelled by Allardyce's ideas and vision, Bolton kept climbing places. After beating relegation twice in 2002 and 2003, they finished 8th in 2004. They finished 6th the following year, level on points with Champions League winners Liverpool. The Wanderers came 8th in 2006, also reaching the round of 32 of the UEFA Cup. In Sam's final year in charge, Bolton finished 7th, but it could have been so much better. Allardyce resigned in January because club chairman Phil Gardside refused to finance the push for the Champions League. The coach agreed to stay until the end of the season, but the bad mood set in. Bolton only won 2 games out of his last 9 in charge in the Premier League. At their best, Bolton were a pain in the ass to play against. Arsene Wenger and Arsenal fans knew it firsthand as the Wanderers became a bogey team for the Gunners. Between January 2005 and 2007, Arsenal only won 1 game against Bolton out of 7 in all competitions. Bolton's all-too-physical play style was too much for Arsenal to handle. But once again, it wasn't just hope the ball and pray for the best. Just ask legendary Arsenal midfielder Ray Parlour how he felt about JJ Okocha doing a rainbow flick to beat him. In 2003, Bolton influenced the title race by stunning Arsenal with a late comeback in April, from 2-0 down to 2-2. The draw massively damaged Arsenal's chances to retain the league title, which they ultimately lost to Man United. The result hurt Arsene Wenger like hell, as he admitted over a decade later. Unfortunately, you have awkward moments in a career and you never forget them. I'm competitive, and every disappointment is a scar in your heart and reduces your life expectancy. Following his Bolton exit, Big Sam had less successful stints at Newcastle, Blackburn Rovers and West Ham. But later spells at Sunderland and Crystal Palace restored his reputation and actually molded him into a relegation specialist. His opinion of himself, however, has never been low. In his own words, "If my name was Allardyce, I'd be managing a top 4 club." Some might say Big Sam's play style doesn't belong at the top of the game, but Big Sam Allardyce has an answer for it as well. I don't give a shit, to be honest. If you have enjoyed this story, like this video so more people can watch it. Subscribe to our channel for more, hit the bell icon, and see you in other videos.